Hey everyone, and welcome to English 102 Online. My name is Amber Lumiere. I'm really excited to be your instructor and your editor-in-chief this quarter, but more on that later. If you're watching this video, you're either on the homepage in our Canvas course or you access the weekly update from the calendar. Either one is fine. The point is that there are a lot of ways to get around in this course and find what you need. Just know that these weekly updates are like a home base, a place in this class for you to get centered and make sure you know what's going on as we learn in this distance environment. So make sure you know how to get here and build it into your rhythm to check out these updates regularly. Speaking of rhythms, every Monday before noon, I will be sharing an update for the week ahead. Almost always that will be with a video or a visual of some kind, as well as right below that, a workflow for the week, which will be highlighted. Within the workflow, there will be deadlines and then a bulleted list that includes everything that you need to accomplish those tasks. There will be hyperlinks to take you there. So again, if you're trying to figure out what's going on in this course at any time, all you need to do is look for this updates page. Each week, the newest update will appear at the top like a social media stream for the next 10 to 11 weeks ahead. Here is just a bit about me as we get started. You're going to learn more about me in our journalist bios that are due this week, but you can call me Amber. English 102 is the class that inspired me to want to be a writing teacher at the college level. I really enjoyed taking this class as a student, doing all the research and learning new things. Then I worked as a tutor and I loved working alongside students, helping them develop their research and their writing projects. It was a surreal experience when I was given the opportunity to start teaching this course. These days, I also teach classes like the arts magazine on campus for our student-led publication, The Salal Review. I teach children's literature, and then I have other passions and interests as a faculty member. But English 102 was my original call to this work, and it will always be really special to me for that reason. You've probably heard rumors about English 102, that you have to write a really long paper, and you do, but stick with me. Many writers are very nervous about that paper, and to me, that's really what makes this class so rewarding, because my job is to help alleviate those nerves and provide a system and a learning environment that helps you trade nervousness in for a sense of pride in what you're going to accomplish. That is my first and my foremost favorite thing about teaching this class, and I make it my own personal goal to help you get to that point where you're proud of what you've created and maybe even a bit surprised by what you were able to pull off. Another thing that I really love about teaching English 102 is how writers get excited about what other people are writing. That is partially because of how we go about choosing topics for this course, and I'm going to explain more later. But it's neat to see that what someone else is writing about in our classroom might be interesting enough to you that you would share it with your friends and family. Over time, that's become a goal of mine, to challenge myself to create the kind of learning experience where what we're doing is exciting enough that it would be worth sharing outside of our classroom space. For instance, a former exchanger, a former student in this class, wrote to another journalist in the class, "I'm in the delivery room right now with my wife, and she's in labor, and I'm reading parts of your paper to her." If you knew what the topic was, that would make even more sense. But I thought when I read that, I've done it. If I've created a learning environment like that, that's pretty cool. And no pressure on you guys. The pressure is all on me. I just want you to hear that and to think and be prepared to choose the kinds of topics that might create that kind of rich and engaging learning environment that feels like real life to us, that feels relevant to our lives in general. Here's a little bit more about me as we keep going. I've been teaching at the college level for over 12 years. I've been working at LCC for 18 years. I actually went to school here, and I've been on this campus since I was a 4-year-old. That's because my dad used to be a faculty member here. He taught welding at LCC for 25 years before he passed away. So that said, I've gone through highs and lows in my own life. I'm sure you've gone through hard things too, or maybe you're going through some highs or some lows right now. I really try to let those things about my personal life, about the real things going on, shape the kind of supportive, compassionate, and flexible faculty member that I want to be. I'm always trying to be creative and come up with ways to know you better and figure out how I can adapt to be the best guide and support you along your learning journey. Sometimes in my sign-off for messages, I like to end with the phrase, "I'm rooting for you." And I think that phrase really sums up where I'm coming from as a faculty member. What makes my job so special is that I get to know all kinds of people, hear their stories, and be a part of their educational journey. I love watching you guys, watching all of the students that I've worked with in my career thus far, overcome all kinds of obstacles to achieve your goals. It's really an inspiring position that I get to play in our society, and I do feel grateful that I get to have this as my work. That's a little bit about who I am and what drives my heart and soul as a teacher. The fact is that we don't know what this quarter holds for any of us. We don't know what's going to happen today or tomorrow. So we want to create the kind of learning community where everyone, not just me, but everyone is rooting for each other. I think if we do that, we're going to see more of us succeeding and accomplishing our goals together. And we'll just feel inspired that we're getting things done. I have a welling excitement for what we're going to accomplish together. And I hope that you'll allow yourselves to be a bit vulnerable and feel that welling excitement too, because what we're going to do this quarter is really cool. You can absolutely do what is ahead of us, no matter what the rumor mill has told you about this class. And maybe you've had friends or family who've taken my class or English 102 before. They've done it, and they can tell you it's possible and not as daunting as it might seem right now. On that note, let's get into the nitty-gritty of the week ahead. In the first bullet for our workflow below, it says you need to review the syllabus. There's a hyperlink that should take you directly to the syllabus. Spend some time reviewing that and reach out if you have any questions for me. I'm going to keep highlighting some of that content here as well. You're learning online. So I always also recommend, and that's in the bullet below, that you take a house tour. If you were going to be staying at a home of someone else's home for 10 to 11 weeks ahead, you would explore. You would find out, where's the bathroom, the kitchen, what's in this drawer, where do I take out the garbage, where's the best place to sit and get cozy and focused. You would look behind doors, or in this case, click on links, check things out, figure out where things belong and how they flow. On the left-hand menu, as a part of this tour, beneath Home, you'll see a link that says Syllabus, Projects, and Resources. That link will take you to a website that I've built for English 102. If you click there, it's embedded inside of this Canvas course for your convenience. If you click on the link below, it's going to open my website up as a separate tab. I've made this website so that you can access our materials more easily at any time from any device without having to log in. The address is www.lemire102.weebly.com. Lemire is Lemire. I have almost all of the curriculum posted there, so Canvas really is a place for us to get organized, but the website shows you a picture of the whole class and all of the projects and how they'll build up to a final project in the end. The idea is if you ever wanted to review requirements for a project that's coming up while you're waiting at the dentist's office, for example, you could just type it into your phone and sit there and review the class materials for 5 minutes, 15 minutes, you decide. After the syllabus in the bullets below, you'll have your first real due date for this course on Thursday. So by Thursday, hopefully you've got your bearings a little bit with the first week of the quarter, and then you'll be able to post your journalist bios. There's a link to the instructions below, and then a separate link to the board where you can actually share your work. Make sure you check out the details in those instructions. There are more videos and bits of advice from me to help you with your writing process there, to kick things off and get your confidence boosted for that first post. So you'll post those journalist bios by Thursday, and then by Sunday, I would like you guys to reply to each other. Remember that we're trying to create an environment of support, rooting for each other, and making connections. The major project that we're doing this quarter is also going to stem from what we are personally interested in, curious about, passionate about. So root for each other and each other's interests. There are more instructions and guidance for all of this, again, in the links below, but that just generally covers what's due for the week ahead. I hope as well that you'll get a bit ahead for next week and begin working on our pitches, at least reviewing what that is going to entail and giving yourself room to brainstorm in advance. The reason why I mention these early in week 1 is that you're going to spend the entirety of English 102 really working on one project. And I want you to have as much advance notice as possible to start processing and coming up with the kinds of ideas that are going to keep you engaged and invested for the whole quarter. You're soon going to find out why this class is called Exchangers, but here's a little preview relevant to those pitches. You are a journalist. You finished English 102, so you're hired. You're a member of Exchangers magazine. Exchangers has a unique mission for our audience. We write and publish those topics that are underdog or fresh ideas that our readers are not going to find in other places. But we also honor that our unique journalists, all of you, have your own curiosities and passions and individualism that's going to make each article feel authentic and exciting to us as readers. We have this little culture of challenge where we positively compete with each other to try to come up with the most interesting ideas to put forth to our readers. So after we do our bios, that's the energy that we're going to dive into together. It's, all right, team, let's go find some things to write about that are unexpected and surprising. Yes, they are going to be problem and solution type arguments, and I've got some outdated videos of me from many years ago to help support you with that, and videos that explain more about the mission of Exchangers magazine. But for now, I just wanted to give you this preview and say welcome and motivate you a bit to check out the Pitches project as soon as possible. Let's finish getting oriented to the course. So like I said earlier, there's a rhythm for the course. If something is due, it will be due on Tuesday, Thursday, or Sunday, just like this week. When you're checking the weekly updates, you'll see these dates listed. Think about how this rhythm is going to work for you or not. If Tuesday or Thursday doesn't work with your life, plan ahead and alter that to be Monday, Wednesday. I know there is absolutely no way to create a perfect calendar that's going to work for all the different kinds of students that I'm serving and the places that you guys are coming from. So again, I try to get creative with making policies that foster a more flexible environment for success. For instance, in this class, things will be due by midnight-ish. And that is because I'm not checking timestamps. You don't need to send me an email to say, hey Amber, I was 5 minutes late, please review my work. Because if your work is there when I open it up to assess it, it's there. I don't care if you did it at 3 a.m. or even 20 minutes before I got around to opening it up and grading. I know that you guys are doing your best to juggle all of the things going on in your lives. And also, if your work isn't there at all, that can be okay too. What I'm looking for is communication and a plan. So reach out and say, hey, Amber, I'm not going to be able to whatever it is. You don't need to say, I'm sorry. Just say, I'm not going to be able to get that done by Sunday. Would Monday work for you? Or is it possible that I could have 3 more days? You're not really asking me for permission so much as double checking with me to make sure that the plan that you have is a good one that is going to work with our course schedule and that it will fit into the grander scheme of the course and quarter. As long as we're not at the end of the quarter, I can usually approve things and work out a catch-up plan with you. Again, you don't need to say you're sorry. You don't even need to tell me your reasons. You can tell me, and if you would like someone to listen and know what you're going through or even be able to relate, I am happy to listen. But if you're a more private person, I assure you that I don't need your doctor's notes or any proof that someone passed away. I'm just going to believe you. If your reason is that you're tired, or maybe you have a sick child at home, or you had a big test in your another class, and you thought you'd have the energy to do more that night, but you didn't, that also makes sense to me. In our class system, it's typically best if you post whatever you have by the deadline. But if you need that extra day or 3, whatever it is, again, just tell me your plan and how I can support you. I've got a policy in the syllabus that explains this more detailed with a description for how I'm going to respond the first time, second, and third time. But the main purpose in this video is that I want to convey that I am giving you guys space while also wanting to step in when I feel like you might need a little bit more support to cross that finish line and succeed in the course overall. Ultimately, I want you to know that I am flexible, and that is something that I'm constantly striving to develop and seeking to achieve in this class for the sake of you guys and your success and creating an environment of respect. All of this leads me to what I want to say about grading, which is detailed in the syllabus, but I want to cover some highlights here. Along the way, you are going to be getting comments from me, typed comments, audio comments, and that is the most important part of grading, the feedback that you will get from me. But as far as points, percentages, and letters go, this course is worth 100 points or 100%. The important thing to note is that 1 point equals 1%. So at any time throughout the quarter, you should be able to determine what is the highest grade that you could possibly earn for the class. For example, if you miss 1 point early on, the highest grade that you can receive for the course is 99%. Another thing to highlight is that for the first part of the course, of the quarter, if you do the thing, whatever is assigned, you will earn the points and percentages. I call this do equals earn. So really, the only way to miss points early on is if you don't do the thing, if you don't turn it in, or if you don't follow the requirements for that project and I need you to make an adjustment, such as you don't complete the required replies to someone. I really appreciate this do-earn system, especially at the beginning of the quarter, because I think it frees us all up to just learn and take risks and feel more confident. Much later in the course, we will get into more quality-based grading, and you're going to see that with the 2 major projects, the source evaluations and the final expanded article. But I will be making comments on these projects for many weeks before you are formally graded, so we will be refining your work toward the expectations together. A final important thing to note is that you may see the assignments that are weighted as 0 in the gradebook. The reason that I do that is so that I can give you 1 out of 10 for the one part that we've done thus far, but I don't want 1 out of 10 to show up in the gradebook as an F in Canvas. So once everything is assigned, 3 out of 10, 5 out of 10, 10 out of 10, I'll then go in and change that assignment weight to 10%, and it will populate as your final letter grade in Canvas. So be patient and just know that I'm doing that so that I can grade as we go and see that everyone's making progress and have that show up in the grade book in a meaningful way. In all, the grading system is designed to be simple so that you can focus instead on doing, learning, researching, enjoying, sharing, indulging in curiosity, exploring, and all of the things that good learning is supposed to be. A few things before we sign off. At the bottom of this update is a chance for you to click the heart. That does not mean that you like my post or my video. I'm not looking for that. I'm not trying to gain followers. It just means that you're here, that you're a beating heart who's out there, who's engaged with this video update. It says, I hear you, Amber. It would be so awesome if you guys made your presence known in this way by clicking on that heart. There's also space for you to leave anonymous comments below. That's a good spot to say, hey, there's a link broken, or is this assignment really due on such and such date? You can use the space to make comments or ask questions that would benefit everyone, just to be social and positive and to create a welcoming learning environment. Otherwise, send me a direct message if there's anything that you need from me that's more private. I hope that you guys will reach out early in the quarter if you need anything so that we can start strong together. Like I said before, I'm really excited to be teaching English 102 and leading Exchangers Magazine once again. It's an honor to be your editor and a part of your educational journey. I can't wait to read your journalist bios this week. Have an awesome start, Exchangers, and I will see you again soon.